guys, what we're going to do today, we're going to try and do a nice detailed review of the new Honda NC700X I've bought. So we'll have a little walk round. Right, there you go. Anyway, let's get straight to it because I've got a lot to talk about on this one. Right, so the NC stands for New Concept, and what Honda have done, they've taken a Jazz engine and taken two pistons off of it and basically stuck it in a bike and made it really economical. And it bloody is too. It is phenomenal. It, believe it or not, is more economical than a 125 scooter I actually own. So anyway, let's get straight to it. Here's the engine. Because it's slanted right forward, although this bike isn't light, it's very thin and quite tall and upright, which I quite like. So it's like a bit of an adventure bike. But also, because it's slanted forward like that, all the weight is low down. You can literally stop at a T-junction without moving an inch and just balance there and hover it and just drive off. That the weight is really low down. It does feel like a little 250cc motorbike. Right, let's have a look at the clocks. I'll start the clock up and we'll start on this one. Right, so you've got all the information here. You've got engine management system, you've got your oil, you've got your neutral, temperature gauge, which I don't like because it just comes on. I'd rather see a temperature gauge. It's one of the things that I'm not too keen on this one. It's got HISS and ABS on the bike as standard in this country. So what we've got a couple of trips and a total mileage. You just press this button here, and as you can see, I've actually done 955 miles up to date now, and I've done 12.9 miles today. It's got a clock. And it's got a huge, great miles per hour mileometer on it. If I just start her up, and you might as well hear it now, mightn't you? See, it's very chugga chugga chugga. But can you see the rev counter? Right, I don't normally like those, I must admit, but this one, it's unintrusive. It's not bright orange, shooting up and down, whatever. Actually, quite like it. It hasn't got a gear indicator either, which I like, and it hasn't got a proper temperature gauge, which is a damn shame. But you know, it is what it is because it's only £6,000 brand new. Mirrors are great. Let's talk about the screen. Now, the screen on this particular model, as standard, is fine. Honda have done what they've done with it, and because it's supposed to be a commuter bike, the screen works. And Honda do a bigger screen with a metal bracket on there, and it's taller. It's about this tall. So it's just a case of I'm doing those 4 screws, putting the Honda one on. But Jivy do one, and various other ones are about on the market for this one that are even bigger and wider out here, which I might buy myself. In all different different colours and what have you. Right, let's talk about radiator guard. I've fitted a lovely radiator guard on here, stainless steel with NC700X. Actually, NC700 on it only. Very pleased about that because all the muck does come up there, and you don't want to get a stone chip in there and whatever. This one's a Beowulf one. And I think it was about 53 quid. Well worth the money. Don't have to worry about damaging the radiator. The other thing is I got this really nice fender extender by Infinite, I think, and it's a pure carbon one. And as you can hear, so it's very light. You get stainless steel lock nut bolts to fit it, and it's excellent. Works really well. Got it off of eBay, and it was only about £3 more than these horrible plastic ones, which don't match any of your plastic normally that's on your bike, because they're sort of a grey, not black and whatever. Right, and by the way, you will have to take the hole and mudguard off to drill it and fit it, so be warned on that one, but that's not an issue. Let's talk about brakes. Now, brakes on this bike, as you can see, there's only one disc. There's not one the other side. So that's a bit of a cost cutting by Honda, but it's got ABS and it's got a rather large brake, and to be honest, the faster you go the better the brakes work, which is really unusual. Anyway, straight back to some more bits and bobs. There's the key there. Now the key here, if you go like this is one of the big main things with this thing. You're going to go, oh, wow, in a minute, because that's not the tank, right? Okay, so you go like that and you go, holy shit, yes, I'll put my arm in, right, and that's from my, well, it's from here up to there, like my elbow deep. I measured it this morning and it's 17 inches from there to there, but you've got another 3 or 4 inches on the lid, so we're talking massive depth. And I'll just get my helmet straight in. Now that's a massive storage space. Come on guys, you've got to admit that. It's one of the things I was impressed with. Turn the key the other way and watch. Boing. There is your fuel tank. Here's where you put your fuel in. Straightforward. My little drinks bottle, I just fits in there a treat so I can have a drink. And just flick that up like that and that just goes down, as simple as that. So that's fantastic, isn't it? You got to admit. Whoa. Yeah, absolutely awesome. Right, what else we've got to talk about? Oh yeah, clutch. Let's go on to the clutch. The clutch is incredibly light. Look, one finger. Look how thin it is. Look how thin it is. Right, it's not like your normal adventure bike, massively wide, big and heavy. You know, even the SV650 from Suzuki, you know, that's massively heavy and big. You know, I wouldn't get it in my garage. I've got 2 adventure bikes as it is, as you probably may or might not know. Got BMW GS Adventurers. And quite frankly, just, you know, I wanted something cheap to run every single day, reliable. I mean, the build quality on this is superb. Look at it. Look at the welding on that. That is just superb. I mean, there's a powder coat on it. Look, beautifully made. Now, come on. It is, and that's it. It's you're getting an awful lot for your money with this one. But I wanted a very thin bike that feels light, and this one does. But effectively, it isn't. It is quite heavy for a 700cc bike. But as soon as you sit on it, and ride it around, it feels as light as a feather. It's like a little sports bike 600, it feels like, to be absolutely honest with you. But it isn't. It's because the weight's all low down, you know. And the reason why I bought this bike is because of that. Let's get to bike handling. Handling, fantastic. I'm very happy with the handling of this bike. It's light and easy to use. Gearbox. The gearbox actually is really sweet. For a Honda, it clonks in first gear like 90% of all bikes. Okay, fair enough, but it doesn't lurch forward a whole foot like some bikes I've ridden and tested recently. Say no more. And the gearbox is as sweet as a nut because of the light clutch. It's a very, 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 very easy bike to ride. For your first bike, this couldn't be better. As a commuter bike, this couldn't be better. But it's a bit more than this. You can turn this bike into a full-blown proper adventure bike that's cheap as hell to ride. You know, this will do 80 miles to the gallon, right? When this bike is completely empty, okay, and the light's flashing, and I've done about 20 miles with it bloody flashing, I'll fill it up and put about £15 worth of petrol in, it'll do 250 220 fucking miles before it bloody needs to be filled up again. 220 miles. I'm going to put a picture on here now for you. Right, okay. Now that picture shows you what this bike can achieve with a taller screen and panniers both sides and a pannier top box, all in aluminium, the whole lot, like a BMW Adventurer. Okay, so you know that all adventure bikes now are about 16,000 quid. You know, I mean, can you get one for 13? I don't know, I don't think you can you? Right, not with panniers and everything on it. Now this bike you can get with the black panniers that you saw that photograph of it and the top box, just the same as what you got on the BMW Adventurers. Okay, so you got the three boxes, but don't forget you've got 21 litres under there. 21 litres under there as well. Okay, that's a hell of a storage on its own. So wait for it, 1,200 quid only, you can get the taller screen and your panniers, top box and side panniers and pannier rails for 1,200 quid. This makes this bike a fully touring bike for £7,200 full retail price on the road. And it does 80 miles to the gallon, and it's a Honda. It won't break down very easily. The build quality is made in Japan, excellent build quality. What's not to like on that? Think about it. Okay, £7,200 fully kitted. Yeah, makes you think, doesn't it? The 6 gear on this is very tall, so it's brilliant for motorway driving as well. Hence why I might turn this into the venture bike, because when you're doing 70 miles an hour, right, which is the motorway speed, you're barely touching 3,500 revs. 80, if you was to ever do 80, of course I don't, 80 miles an hour is dead on 4,000 revs. So, you know, it will be as happy as a sandboy sitting there all day doing 90 miles an hour. And you're still probably getting 60 odd to the bloody gallon out of it at that. And the other great thing about this is 8,000 miles between its oil changes.